Hello there, everybody. This is Cholera, and this is game 2 of the MST group here. We've got DoctorK, a Protoss player, on SKT1 versus Effort, a Zerg player on CJ Entus. DoctorK, if you don't remember, which you may not, is otherwise known as Bull T, BUL_T, and he was in the last MSL, actually, in the round of 32. I casted a couple of games of him, and he actually played pretty well in the MSL Survivor Tournament of the last season, but I didn't cast the games that he played in the MSL proper. Regardless, he did get beaten, I think 1-2 in his round of 32 group, so he hasn't really made it far. Meanwhile, Effort didn't even make it into the preliminaries, really, of either side of the Star Leagues last season, surprisingly, considering he is such a good Pro League player. And we're going to see what happens here if he can manage to start a run for himself. In fact, I had to look pretty darn hard to find out the last time he's been in an OSL or MSL, and it was actually in the Incrude OSL, and that was 2 seasons ago. He only made it into the round of 36 of that season. So this means that really Effort needs to show that not only can he cut it in the pro leagues, he can also cut it in the in the star leagues, individual leagues, where the real true fame and notoriety come from. I mean, you can be a good pro league player all your life, but if you don't win a star league or you don't get far, I mean, people just won't respect you as much. At least I won't respect you as much, and I think most fans probably would not. Just because, in a team effort, there is just a different dynamic. You don't have to play best of fives against anybody. You don't have to really get into the mental psychology. And also, a lot of people who are very good in individual leagues don't practice very much for the pro leagues. That is a true fact, especially if they're in the middle of a late stage of a star league. So being good at the pro league might not necessarily mean you're playing against the best of the best, so to speak. And one good example of that is C Shield, who is rather popular among some foreign fans, but has unfortunately never made it past a round of 16 in any Star League, despite being a very good Pro League player. Anyway, looks like we're going to be playing on Byzantium III. We've got DoctorK here at the bottom left, and we've got Effort at the upper right. And let's see if there's an upset here. I would say if DoctorK wins, it would be an upset, although in the MST group I casted last season, he did win 2-0 to get out of that group. Managing to beat 4GG, I think, which is not a small feat, not a mean feat at all. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like we got a probe moving out. He's probably going to go for a Forge Fast Expand, that means. And Effort has been, I mean, just watching him play in the Pro League against Protoss, he is very, very good. He really reminds me a lot of Savior. Obviously it makes sense since they're on the same team, and they both have that just very, very comprehensively good ZVP style. Savior's best matchup, of course, is against Protoss historically. And Effort really, his Hydra play and his Scourge play to get, to counter Corsair Reaver are second to none. Honestly, I mean, they are on the same level as Jadong's, and that is saying a lot. So it looks like we've got Effort here, opening up with what looks like a Overlord and Overpool rather, Overlord spawning pool and a gas. So most likely this is going to be a Speedling build here. Notice that the big favorite here is Effort, but in the last game, the huge favorite was Jadong. So, we could certainly see DoctorK win here, just as we saw Ganzi win in the last game, surprisingly. And we are going to be seeing most likely Speedlings here. I don't imagine him going for some kind of 2-hatch craziness, 2-hatch attack or anything like that. So it is most likely going to be a Speedling build here, and we'll see how prepared DoctorK is for a run-by kind of build here. Most likely the first 100 gas will go to speed, for those of you who don't know this build, and then as we can see right here, the drones get gradually taken away from the gas assimilator, gas extractor rather, so that the last drone that's mining gas, before that gets pulled off, puts in the 104th unit of gas. That's right, that's exactly how much gas you have, and of course you get the metabolic boost, and then you proceed from there. You can go for 2 additional hatcheries, or even 3 additional hatcheries before resuming your gas, depending on what builds you follow up with. So we're going to see an expansion coming from both players here, clearly, and this probe here needs to get killed by the Lings, or it's going to have another run by into the base, and it's going to be able to see what's going on again. And the question here is whether Effort decides to go to produce more lings, or if he's going to be satisfied with building 6. If he's building a substantially high number more, like 10, certainly would mean that he is going to be going for a run by. And the problem for him is that DoctorK knows about it, and he looks like he wants to be very cautious here. He's putting up a third cannon, and he's probably going to have some probes here blocking the ramp. So this run-by attempt, I don't think, is going to work at all. In fact, there are more lings being produced. That's 10 lings, although certainly they've accomplished one goal. They've accomplished the goal of forcing DoctorK to pull probes and to put up these cannons. So there's no way Effort's going to get in there, and if he does, that'll be a big waste of units for him. He is double expanding, though, picking up his third gas. It is rather hard to pick up the gas. Oh, Effort goes in, loses 3 lings, and that's going to be it for him and that run by. So both players, starting off pretty standard, I would say. This is, he's not going to go for any kind of fast tech to try to go for any further rush. And Effort's probably going to stay with this, with a lair build. Yeah, a standard build, like I was saying. The one thing that he does have going for him, or one of the many things he has going for them, is the fact that he has these lings to prevent scouting from DoctorK. So DoctorK should not be able to get out any probes here for the time being. And we're probably going to see, well, actually, I'm not going to make any assumptions, because we've been seeing deviations from the 3-hatchery Spire build lately, because it has been overplayed a little bit. It is a very good build, though, I gotta say, but it has been replaced at times by things like 3-hatch, straight up 3-hatch Mutalisks, 5-hatch Mutalisks, basically just the Mutalisk opening instead of going just Scourge and Hydras. Especially when people want to mix it up, when people want to trick the opponents. GG Play did it recently to great success. July does it very often to great success. But we'll see what Effort does. I mean, certainly Effort can do that build very well, and looks like he's setting up right now for the Spire. There it goes. So it is going to be a 3-hatch Spire. And if it's going to follow what I was saying, the 5-hatch build, it will probably be followed with 2 more hatcheries and then the Hydralisk Den. And all of this will happen before the second gas goes down. That is an important indicator for those of you who watch StarCraft, or for those of you who play Protoss against Zerg. The second gas is a critical thing to look for. If there's no second gas, you can be pretty sure there's no Mutalisks coming. So looks like we are going to see probably that 5-hatch build, and meanwhile we're going to see relatively early Templar Archives here coming for DoctorK. And DoctorK, we'll see what he's up to here. Looks like, oh, look at this. Interesting enough, an early Robo facility too for DoctorK. So perhaps setting himself up for some kind of DT or High Templar drop. That could be a possibility, certainly. Or maybe he's gonna. No, that's really the only possibility. Yeah, it is going to be Templar Archives following up. Speedlots would make no sense with a robotics facility that early. And looks like a couple of Lings were trying to do something, and they failed at doing it. So looks like this Corsair is going to come over, is going to spot 5 hatches going up. Not much out of the usual here, and some Scourge are going to be produced. This timing is very standard here. It's conventional timing. And we are going to see the Corsair run away. So a Storm Drop could actually be an interesting opening here, and possibly something that's unexpected. I think DoctorK knows he needs to do something out of the ordinary, perhaps something not completely standard to beat someone like Effort. Effort, of course, I would say in the top 5 of Zergs out there. And oh, DoctorK, is he going to be able to escape? Looks like he will be able to escape. Of course, another great Protoss on his team is Bisu, the woman toss. And I'm sure DoctorK, when he gets a chance, we'll do some practice against him. A DT is out, and oh, looks like the Scourge do